Hi, everybody. Thank you. We're glad to be here at Finovate today. We are Exate Technology, and we are a data privacy firm specializing in GDPR and cross-border data transfers. A bit quick word about what we do and where it came from. I'm a reformed banker. Sonal's a reformed IT person. Well, she's still an IT person. And what we've learned, the problems working in banks. I spent 29 years in banks. And we know the problems that banks face with respect to managing data privacy. So it's really hard to demonstrate data privacy. So before we kick into that, I want to explain to you what you're going to see. What we do is we give your data a virtual visa on an attribute by attribute level. And then we have passport control, which checks that visa before it comes into an application. So as we go through, we're going to demonstrate different ways that this works. We're going to show you a client-side version, which protects data on your desktop, but we can do exactly the same thing with respect to the server side and protecting APIs. So let's kick into the demo now, and we're going to give you the first bit. This is quite simply something you wouldn't necessarily do as much, but it works really well for a call center. This is using Chrome, just a dummy website that we created. You can see it won't even let you decrypt the data. But now if you flip to the container that we've created, this is your passport control. These are secure apps that sit on your desktop. So now we're going to open up the same exact page, and you'll see passport control let through the first two bits of information because the rule said they were allowed to be seen in an application. The last one, the rule says you have to manually request the information to see it. Now we're going to click on that. That's what the user do. Now here it shows on the same screen. That's just so we don't have to have two laptops. You click on that, acknowledge that you're willing to share your data, and now you'll see it goes back, releases the key, and encrypts the data so that the user can see it. Like I said, you wouldn't necessarily do this as much at a bank, but it works really well when you're calling up to a call center. So people said, that's great, but how do you integrate it? You created a web page. Let's see it somewhere else. So now let's go back to Chrome, and that's Sonal. Say hi. You can see on the bottom there, underneath her name and title, she has encrypted data posted on her LinkedIn page. So you can check her LinkedIn page. This is her legit LinkedIn page. Now, if you go into our secure shell once again, what you'll see, now keep an eye on that exact spot, opening up the secure version of LinkedIn, you can now see that information is visible. So the key that we show on this is the integration ability. So obviously LinkedIn doesn't know we exist, but we're able to very quickly and easily use external third-party applications within our container. So now the next thing we want to show you is something a bit more bank and business related. So every bank, every business has a CRM system. So looking at this information in, once again, Chrome, you can see my information is fine, but Suraj, we can't know it's Suraj because he's encrypted, his information is encrypted. So we have the technology such that when you're in a CRM system, you could be entering in the information with respect to a client, and it will be automatically encrypted. Now what we're going to show you is we're going to change personas. Again, it's a bit challenging to show data privacy, so we're going to go into our container. And right now, we're looking at this as a relationship manager in the UK. Now, you can see Suraj's information decrypted because the UK relationship manager is allowed to see it. When I say we have a virtual visa and we put rules around the data, those rules could be a variety of different things, which we're going to show you. It could be your job function, it could be your department, it could be down to an individual, it could be the country you're based in. That's where the cross-border data transfers come in. So now, if you look at the settings, you'll see the information all here. Now, if you flip it to, just to show the change there, right? So this is how you can change, this is changing personas to show you different ways of looking at it. So now we're going to change this to a relationship manager in the US. It is unable to decrypt because the rules state that Suraj's information is only allowed to be seen in the UK. And when you click on why it is unable to decrypt, it tells you that you're not allowed to view it in that country. Similarly, we can now go back and change this again to a different persona. Back to the UK, and now you have someone in HR that wants to look at client data for whatever reason. So what you see here is, again, it doesn't work because they're not in the right department. We could do exactly the inverse. Now, if a relationship manager wanted to go look at HR data, we can block that as well. It all depends on how you set up the rules. So one last thing we want to show you, which is, again, flipping it back to a UKRM, which is quite a important topic we hear a lot now from our clients. Back to UKRM. Now what we're going to do is Suraj may want to exercise under GDPR his right to be forgotten. So by exercising his right to be forgotten, what it does, it has now taken his decryption key and locked it away in a deep, dark vault that no one is allowed to access. So now you can see all of the information referring to him, being on the home page or on the comments, is no longer visible to the user. He has exercised his right to be forgotten. It's all part of the rule check that we do. So as it comes into this Secauser shell, it cycles through all of the rules very quickly to determine who is allowed to see it. So in summary, there's a few points I want to leave you with that are really core of how we created this. First of all, you can see the integration is very easy with any web-based application. It takes next to no time. That's ultimately critical because we know that if you have to go and integrate with many systems, you won't do it. Second of all, it's installed on-prem. We have no access to your applications, your data, or your decryption keys. And the last part that is quite important to point out here is that what we've done is when you're in a bank, you have literally loads and thousands of policies that you're supposed to remember and be able to follow. We have to use technology to enforce the policy around your data. So it's just like when you're driving down the motorway, the speed limit may be 80 kilometers per hour, but you can drive 120. There's nothing to stop you. We use technology to enforce policy. Please come feel free to see us at our booth outside. We'll gladly walk you through any greater detail with respect to this, or you can email us at info@exatetechnology.com. Thank you.